to be fair, Richard, to Ten Hag, in terms of we've a list here of the players that are missing to him in terms of being available to selection for various reasons. Now, there's a huge injury list there. Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire, the latest to join that after the weekend. You know, some players there that would probably feature, like Shaw, for example. Amrabat has come in but hasn't appeared. And then, of course, you got those issues at the bottom. Anthony and Sancho, the issue that he has. Just on that whole question, and he was asked about the Sancho thing and how he was handling it and the other off-field issues. He said, you know, I was brought in here because there was no good culture at Man United, and that was his job to lay down the law and be strict on issues like the Sancho one, whatever it is. But I wonder how much, and this is the suggestion that's always made in defence of Ten Hag, that how much of it comes from the situation at the top of the club, the ownership, what's been lingering on for manager after manager, the same sort of repetitive process of starting well and then getting sucked into the quagmire. Do you think that is the fundamental overriding problem?
I think so, yeah. I think when, obviously going back to when Sir Alex Ferguson was there, if there was a player who would speak out of turn or answer the manager back, he'd be instantly gone. Whereas now the players feel like they have the freedom to answer the manager back. They can do what they seemingly want because the people above Ten Hag, they don't seem to have the authority that they had previously at Man United, probably because of the leadership issues at the club in terms of ownership and all that. I just feel he hasn't found his best team, and every time he tries to, I mean, Anthony's one of his players, someone that you would know the background of, someone that he's worked with, he's seen what the personality is like. He must have known what his temperament was and different things like that, and sort of judgments on that, why you would spend 100 million on someone who maybe was a really good boy or whatever in Ajax, but you would think it's not just come out of the blue, stuff like that. So it's hard for me to really say it's not the manager's fault, because I do believe he has some part to play in it in terms of his authority around the ground. I think he's still allowing himself to be questioned with the teams that he's picking, with
the players that he's signing, and where he's signing them from.
And the suggestion being that he has too much say in that, whereas at Ajax there were other people upstairs that looked after all that, and he was just on the training ground.
Well, the ownership thing is a bit of a shambles at the moment. It's going on so long. I mean, it appeared that they wanted new investment, but and the feeling was they wanted to sell. But now it kind of looks like maybe they don't want to sell. It's going on for 10 months. They've been offered $5 billion by the Prince Nassim. Jim Ratcliffe's still in the picture. Didn't want to buy it out totally. But nothing has happened, and it looks like that there may be a dispute within the family, that some want to sell, some don't want to sell within the Glazers, because some think it's not the right time to sell. We might get more money if we hang over longer. Now, you have to also remember that they're involved in the appointment of the people down below them who are being inefficient in the overall running in the club and the overall morale of the club. And it's a disastrous situation for them. In there, the manager is doing his best. But as Richard said, you have to be looking at some of the signings like Malacia, Martinez, Anthony, and saying, you know, Hyland is a big one. Let's see what he does tonight. I think he's a bit unproven. They spent a fortune on him, scored a few goals for Atalanta, six goals for Denmark against Kazakhstan, Slovenia and Finland.
He must be good.
Well, I don't know.
Ten Hag got booed for taking him off at the weekend, so maybe he's a few admirers among the United fans already. Richard